Welcome to Sex and the One, the podcast with B and KV.
Getting down and dirty about all things love, life, sex, dating, and relationships.
Welcome back to another episode with B and KV. We are so excited today. This is our first international superstar. She's an absolute glamazon, intimacy expert, top bookseller, manufacturer of organic and botanical supplements. The list goes on and on and on. Welcome to Sex and the One, the podcast, Susan Bratton.
Woo! Hey B, hey KV. So
Hello,
good to be
lovely.
here.
So
You guys
excited.
are so adorable. I'm so happy to get to know you for the first time.
Oh, we are thrilled, to be honest.
Good. What do you want to talk about? What's
On,
on your minds,
just
you
if that's
sex
helpful.
enthusiasts?
Yes,
Well, this is the thing. Sex is always on our minds. So we're very excited to be talking to a like-minded individual. How long have you been a part of what, I don't know if you would call it the sex community, but how long have you been doing this?
Yeah, decades. I've been writing books and programs for decades and publishing the work of my mentors. I was in Silicon Valley. I was a tech person. And I was married to my husband for 11 years, and I had stopped wanting him intimately. He tried so hard to get me in the bedroom, the poor guy. And I was just like, okay. I was like the original duty booty mercy sex wife. And it was, I liked sex.
I'm
and
nodding
I liked
along like I
him.
don't understand.
I
Gotcha.
know. And
Yeah.
I felt so guilty, and I felt like there was something wrong with me, and he thought maybe I was a lesbian and, all this stuff. And we just thought, "Wow, neither. I'm unhappy because he's unhappy. He's unhappy. He wants intimacy. Why, why isn't it, why aren't I having orgasms from intercourse?" And we went to therapists, but they didn't really help us with that. They were better at the kind of relational dynamics.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to some sex workshops. And almost immediately, our sex got great. And I
Yeah.
thought to myself, I really want to bring this workshop experience online so that anybody anywhere around the world can learn pleasuring skills, communication skills, how our bodies work. Because all we ever see are depictions of sex through the male lens. The
Yes.
men all own the studios. They produce all the movies. Porn is all for the male gaze. Everything is to the male tempo, what the penis wants, and women think there's something wrong with us when it's just that we literally don't even get taught how our bodies work,
Yeah.
what the parts are called. It's down there, your private part, God, it's so ridiculous.
Absolutely. I remember, I was always taught sometimes you have to because he wants to. I was
Right,
never taught that you might like it, that I might
right.
like it, that it might be fun
Exactly.
for me. I was taught
Exactly.
that was something that they want to do sometimes, and you need to let them because they need to feel that sometimes. Yeah. I had the
Awful.
opposite. I was I was in. I was ready to go, and yeah, had the opposite
Your husband didn't
experience.
want to have sex.
No,
Uh-huh.
no. Yeah.
That's common too.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's
Mm-hmm.
been my experience of the people that I speak to. The female of the couple feels more sexually inclined than the male. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I guess it depends on who your friends are, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. But yes, there is a lot of what people sometimes call mismatched libido, and I honestly think it's all of these things, I have low libido, mismatched libido, high desire partner, like all this stuff. If we had decent pleasure-based sex education, if we understood what we were going for, if we had a roadmap to the fundamental skills and what order, if we learned how to do bedroom communication in a way that moved us forward, if we had fun things to look forward to on our sex life bucket list, and we didn't feel like we had to know what we were doing. We enjoyed the experimental aspects of learning together, that we
Yeah.
could get over that, like, especially for our male partners, the egoic need to always know and be right and have it figured out instead of being more experimental. It would solve this issue, because what ultimately happens is that when people don't get all this knowledge and information, then sex isn't good after a while. And so then they just start shying away from each other. It gets boring, the monotony of monogamy, all this kind of stuff. Or if somebody has an issue, painful sex or erectile dysfunction or what have you, and they just stop having sex. They stop being intimate. They stop doing anything. They stop
Yeah.
touching. They sleep in different bedrooms. And then that affects that lack of extension of their sex span, reduces their health span and their happiness span. They die younger. I mean, it's a tragedy, the lack of what religious repression, the, only seeing male oriented sexual information, the scare tactics of sex ed rather than pleasure based, never seeing anything on movies or televisions that is what women would really like, no
Yeah.
models.
Yeah.
And we all die. Well, not we all, not me. I'm going to live a long time. I'm a hellion who's going to live forever because
Yeah.
I'm having great
What
orgasms all the time.
do you think? What do you think made you different? Like, what made you go down this path as opposed to do the other things that you're talking about? Because I'm nodding along. I know a lot of people that are in that other position.
Yes.
Yeah. And the women don't
Most
actually
people.
know what's going to turn them on a lot of the times. And so they don't know how to ask for something because they don't know themselves
Yeah.
what to ask for. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what I want. I just know what I'm getting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That is so common. And I think men really are equally disserviced by this, this cultural construct. I mean, they have to try and a lot of guys are like, how can I get her to see how beautiful she is to me? She won't open up. She only lets me have sex in the dark. She won't let me go down on her. She just doesn't understand how much I want and desire her. We women were caught in the advertising perfect body. Only thing that looks good are 20-year-olds. And if you're 40 or 50 or God forbid 60, your life is, you're a washed up old crone, like all that stuff. It
I'm
just makes
getting
it
so
so
emotional.
hard.
Like
Aw,
I feel your words
I
because
know, babe.
I've been married for 12 years.
Hmm.
And I absolutely adore and love my husband. And I hear him say those things like, you're gorgeous,
Hmm.
and, from
Which
the
you are.
depths of his soul. And there are
Hmm.
moments where I'm like, is something wrong with me? Like hormonally, am I going through some changes? Is that where, the libido's gone this week, or what's happening? Do I have too many tabs open? And I feel as women, we do have so much on our plate that at
We
times
do.
it is the last thing on the list, even though I love it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Once you
those
get
words really
there
resonate.
and you have
Yes.
sex, you're like, how come we don't have more sex? And your husband's
Yes.
like,
Yes.
oh
Yes.
my God, baby, did you just hear yourself?
1000% this is true. It's making it a priority, even though you know it's awesome.
I know. But
Yeah.
would you say that hormonal cycles do play a part for men and women?
Yeah, a tiny part, one little
Okay.
tiny part. But
Gotcha.
um, hormonal cycles is an interesting thing. I mean, when you're ovulating during times when you're still menstrual, ovulation can make you more available
Yes.
and interested in sex. You might have more lubrication and desire. But really, I think it's better to not even worry about that and to just learn how to lay down together and create pleasure at the pace that the female body needs it to want it. My husband and I are very busy. We run our businesses together. We travel. We're, running around, and we schedule our sex,
Yeah.
and by sex, I don't mean schedule time for him to, pound me, orgasm, and go make a sandwich. What I'm talking about is
Yeah.
schedule
2 pump fill.
lovemaking
Yeah.
dates that are, we try new things. We always have stuff, once you start to break through the old way that we thought sex should be, and you start to get really comfortable learning things together, you develop your sex life bucket list. You have
Okay.
erotic play date ideas, things that you want to try, orgasm skills you want to learn, oral pleasuring, intercourse techniques, playing with toys, doing role plays, new sex positions, sex in different locations, trying sexual biohacking things. There's like so
Yes.
many types of things, and I put them all together in this thing called a sex life bucket list. And it's not like the Cosmo sex life bucket list, which is mostly just the same old thing with a little variation. My sex life bucket list is an intimacy expert to millions with decades of sexual experimentation
Yeah.
oriented toward hetero monogamous couples and singles who are waiting to find the lover they have always wanted. And it's a lot to do with growing your skills by having erotic play dates
Yeah.
and
Right.
learning new things together, because that monotony of monogamous sex goes away when, if you want to have desire, it's a combination of trust and feeling like you can surrender to your pleasure with novelty and variety and new experiences.
Yes.
And when you don't have the latter and you only have the former,
Absolutely.
boring. The other thing is, I don't expect myself to be horny. I just put the date on the calendar when nobody's going to bother us. And we're old now. I'm in my 60s, so we have afternoon sex a lot because
Ah,
we
yes.
can, which is super nice. It's still light and we're not tired. We didn't go out for dinner and we just need to go to bed and things like that. So I know that when we get in that bed for that play date, we've got the covers on the bed, the fascinator, so we don't get any lubes on the covers. We've got the lights nice, and we've got the temperature nice, and we've got the music on, and we've got a stack of clean towels, and we've got my favorite lubes, and my favorite sex toys.
B's got a stack of clean towels, so that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to have a stack of clean to wipe the oil off your hands and pat your yoni and things like that. And so we get all that lover space set up. He's showered, shaved, groomed. He's got a clean
Gorgeous.
t-shirt and some loose, soft pants on. And he likes when I wear lingerie. So sometimes I'll put lingerie on and sexy shoes. Not always. Sometimes I don't feel like it. That stuff's scratchy.
Yeah.
Even the fancy stuff is not that comfortable. But I do
No.
it for him when I can.
Agree.
And then I know that either we'll do the thing we like to do the most. We have our favorite like set pattern thing that is really fun, and I can tell you what that is. Or we want to try something new. And I would say like 50-60% of the time it's our pattern, our comfort sex. And 40% of the time, it's spontaneous novelty, or we've had a plan to try something. Because I try a lot of new things as a sex educator. I want to be up on the latest and greatest of everything there is. So I like to have the experiences, and he's so great. I joke that he's just up for anything. Like whatever I want to do, he'll do it with me, which is really a nice way to have a partner.
Absolutely.
And we land on the bed, and we hug, we check in, he holds me, we do some yoni massage, I don't expect to be turned on because I just landed on the bed. I've got estrogen making my monkey mind have, as you said, be all the tabs open.
Yep.
And I got to close those tabs, and it takes a minute, and then I got to get turned on, and that takes 20 or 30 minutes of Yoni massage, breast pleasuring, kissing, stroking his penis. Maybe I get turned on enough that I go down on him a little bit, and then maybe we do some intercourse, we try a sex position, or we do a toy, or we try something new, or whatever. And so, because there's no pressure, because I understand how female arousal works, and I'm not any different than any of it. We have all the same parts. Our arousal is slow. Men's is quick. They've got testosterone dominance. They've got fast acting blood flow into the penile tissue chambers. We are slow. We're estrogen. It seeps in. We need to be calmed down, get out of our head, into our body,
Yes.
relaxed, feel comfortable. And a lot of women are listening to us right now going, I have 3 children. I have a full-time job. Like, I don't have time for all that.
Yeah.
And I kind of think I understand. But how many hours of streaming are you consuming?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How much are you scrolling your socials?
How
How much
important
are you
is this to
shopping
you?
online? Because
It's priorities, isn't it? Yeah.
when you have the kind of sex life where you're happy, you have great orgasms, you have fun in the bedroom with your partner, you feel really confident, you love your body because now you realize, hey, we all have fat rolls and saggy boobs and fat asses, and they like that.
They do.
What's the squishy bits they like? Just like we like to grab on their big biceps, and we like the hard and they like the soft.
Yeah.
And so, once we realize, okay, well, I could live someone else's capitalistic agenda for my life, or I could make a date with my partner, or have him make a date with me. Sometimes I just
Yeah.
want my husband to ask me for sex. I don't want to
Yeah.
always be the one who's saying when we do it. I want him to be like, hey, I have a new idea. There's something I want to try on you. What's your Thursday or Friday look like? I'd like to do some things to you. I'm
Oh,
going to do some
take
dirty,
control.
naughty little things to you. And I'm
Yes.
like,
And
okay,
the
horn
answer
dog
is
daddy.
yes.
The answer is yes, yes,
Can I ask
yes,
can I ask a question in there? You
yeah,
talked about yoni massage.
yes.
There'll be lots of people that want to know more information about that. So is it
Mhm.
okay if you go into a bit more detail about what that
I
is?
would love to. Yoni massage is every year I do a couple of big sex shows over in America that I do my annual sex trends episode with them. And so every year I come up with what are the top 10 trends that I see in the marketplace. And this year, it was yoni massage. And it's interesting because it was on my list for many years, but it crept to the number 1 spot because our male partners started getting interested in it. It was men saying, what's yoni massage? My wife wants a yoni
Because
massage. How do I do a yoni massage?
because I've heard
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about yoni steaming,
Steaming.
and I've heard about
Mm.
yoni putting your yoni in the sun. So like sunbathing yoni. But I
Yeah.
haven't heard a whole lot about yoni massage.
No.
Well, sunshine is just good for our bodies, that's for sure. I don't know much about yoni steaming. It's not my area of expertise. So I'll reserve my judgment for that, but I know a lot about yoni massage. And so yoni, Yoni, my favorite 4-letter word is a tantric lovemaking word for the female genital system. I don't like the word vagina because I feel like that is kind of like a male patriarchal lens of our genital systems. Like the only thing you care about is where you put your penis rather
Yeah.
than and I don't like vulva because vulva is the outside. So it's the labia and the
Yeah.
clitoral tip, but it's not what's in there
In.
in addition to the vaginal pocket, right?
Yes.
And so yoni is this tantric lovemaking word for the entire female genital system, but it also has kind of a spiritual reverence to it. It acknowledges that it's our emotional body. It's part of our enteric nervous system. It's where we hold wounding and trauma. It's everything. It's the seat of our power. It's the core of our passion and our vitality. And so it has this very comprehensive nature to that word. And it's a cute, just, it's like my little Yoni. It's just got a little fun spirit to it. It sounds very fancy and rainbow-like, and like it's got
It
a long
does.
rainbow mane or something.
It's pretty. It's a
like
pretty word.
pretty
Yeah.
word.
Yeah.
And, I like kitty and all kinds of flower. Those are all but Yoni's my word. And Yoni massage is so nice because you can do it yourself, to yourself. You can do it partnered, so your partner can give you a massage. And you can do it manually. And there are also a couple of toys or tools, pleasure tools, that I really like specifically for Yoni massage. And the beauty of Yoni massage is that it does a couple of things. Number one, it gives you time in the beginning of a lovemaking date for you to just relax and get out of that monkey mind of yours and to close all those tabs and to settle, right?
Yes.
We got to settle. And it helps you get into your body. It helps you start to feel sensation. It's not pushing you toward penetration. It's not grabbing your nipples or sticking things in you. It's calm, and it's a time when, as a woman, your partner, if you're lucky enough to have a partner and they're like up for learning how, which most men really want to give us incredible pleasure, and we just need to tell them what to do. And so why Yoni massage is so good. It's so good for the women who are like, I don't know what I want, but I know what I'm getting isn't it. Start with Yoni massage. It's good for
Right.
women who feel like their libido is low. It's good for women who feel like they have sensation loss, labial laxity, loss of lubrication. Because what it's doing is it's sex at a mechanical level in your body works on blood flow. It's not so much your hormones, though taking a little testosterone helps. Keeping your estrogen topped up helps because it keeps the vaginal tissue thick in the lining so it doesn't get thin. It can hold more of the blood flow with the plasma that fills it and gives you the lubrication that you need. It helps a lot, but it's more about the fact that our arousal is just much slower than our male bodied partners, and we need some time. And for once, we'd like to just have the full attention on our pleasure and learn how, as women, to receive love, orgasm, and pleasure. And you get to prime the
Understood.
orgasmic pump, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So when you are getting blood flow into the outer labia, the inner labia, the mons, your little sweet cheeks and perineal area, the inner labia, when you open the inner labia, that's called the vestibule, like the doorway. Inside there is the tip
the
of your
secret
clitoris.
garden.
Exactly, the tip of your clitoris. And then where your urine and your female ejaculate, your divine lady nectar comes out. And then the vaginal opening is inside there, the little sphincter, little round squeezy muscle. It's the opening to your vagina. All that loves to be stimulated with fingers, tongues, tools, etc. So when you get to just completely relax, get into your body, take a minute, take a pause, and get pleasured, that tissue, the blood, you get turned on, the blood flows into the pelvic bowl, it plumps all that. We have as much inside your husband's penis is it's a sponge, and the sponge is not full, it's squeezed out. And then when he gets turned on, like he sees your boobs or whatever, he gets turned on and that sponge fills with blood and gives him an erection. That same sponge that's in his penis, which about half of it is out of his body, but half of it goes in and down toward his testicles, is twice as big as what you see. The sponge is in his penis. 3 long tubes, they get filled real fast. We females, our yoni, we have that same amount, like a banana's worth of sponge, wrapped around our vaginal cavern. It comes to a point at the tip of our clitoris, but it's all that tissue. But it's in all these nooks and crannies, so it takes a while for the blood to get in. So when we have a yoni massage, we get relaxed, we let down, the blood flows, our spit flows, we might have emotions come up, the blood runs into all those things, plumps it all up. So now you can start to have some orgasms before sex. You have a few, nice orgasms that primes the pump. You're getting turned on. And that really helps you once you finally get to oral pleasuring or intercourse or what have you. Now you've got all this surface area that used to be very flaccid and small. Now it's all plumped up, and that sends way more signals to your biggest sex organ, your brain. That's what's so important, is your brain is what's getting all the data from your yoni saying, that feels good. Oh, that feels better. Oh, I just had an orgasm. Oh my God, baby, don't stop right there. Just do that. Yeah. Sideways, back and forth. Oh, can you rub my clitoral shaft from right where it goes in my mons down to my clit, and then take your finger off and start at the top again and go down again, real light, like you're petting the kitty's nose. Can you just do that for me like 20 times? Sure, baby, I can do that. Is this what you want? You want it lighter? You want it a little harder? Oh, I feel your clitoris getting erect. Oh, this is nice, right? So then you're starting to feel the yoni plump and be pleasured, and it's just so nice. And then when he finally enters you, you've got all this pillowy tissue that feels like the best you've ever felt. And because you got a yoni massage. And I should tell you, can I tell you about the tools that I like?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What are the tools?
So what's interesting is that there are two particular tools. Now, I'm a sex tech nerd. I told you before we started the show, talking about sex tech here and quantified intimacy and wearables and all this stuff. So I'm really up on all the tech. And there are two tools that I have found work beautifully. You might choose one or the other. I have them both. They're not that expensive. And in the grand scheme of things, mommy's engorgement is the number one most important thing in your sex life. So, like, why do you need another pair of shoes? I don't need one more pair of sneakers, although I would like to have every pair of sneakers in the world. These are really good tools. And the two tools that I like, the one of them is, and everything that I mention, if whatever comes up, I always give links to so that people can find the thing I'm talking about. So you don't mind if I do that?
I don't even know what it is, and I'm already going to buy both of them. So
Right.
It's just so captivating. I'm in for it.
You will need to give us the links. Yeah, exactly.
Good.
We'll put them in the show notes.
Yeah, put it in the show notes. So
we
the
most
link
certainly will.
is at drivedesire.com. So now you can forget about it. You know you've got it in show notes. You know drivedesire.com. Okay, I've got it.
Yeah.
And there's two yoni massage tools. One is called the Queen and one is called Enhance. And the Queen uses oscillation rather than vibration. It's a round vibrational pattern that your yoni lips love.
I am like, maybe this is the thing.
Keeps going around.
Keeps going around. It's so good. And it uses this technology called pulse plate technology that actually doesn't stimulate the skin of your yoni. It goes deep into the tissue, and that's what gets the blood flowing in and plumping everything up so it feels so good.
What's the shape of it?
Handheld, almost like looks like a little, like an old telephone kind of a thing with one the hearing thing, but not the mouthpiece, like a little handle with a little oscillator thing. It's almost like a little massage.
So you have it externally?
Yeah. You're rubbing all the vulva
around.
tissue, everything all the way around and down in the middle in that vestibule, and on the clitoral shaft, on the clitoris itself. But you want to start. This is what I teach guys. I teach them something called the bullseye touch technique. The first two things I teach a guy who doesn't know what he's doing. How can they know? They never learn. No one, where do you, like that's not their fault, is to slow down and then slow down some more and slow down some more and then slow down some more. Because they're so like, they're just like, let's go, and it's like, chill, Bronco. Let's, and the second thing I teach them is the bullseye touch technique because of that, like, I want to spin her knobs and push her buttons and make her have an orgasm. That's what they're doing. And so,
Touchdown.
yes, exactly, goals. And so, God love them. They want to win, let them win. But what they
Yeah.
want and need to know is you don't want to just grab them by the right away. You want to work from the outside in. So I say, imagine a bullseye. Your inclination is to shoot for the creamy center. That's not what Yoni wants. It pisses her off. Now, for men, I tell women, go get your hands on him immediately. That calms him down. But if he starts immediately touching the tip of your clit, and some women are like, but that's what I like. That's because you have never had what I'm talking about, girl. Try it. Like, yeah, you got that one pathway where you're just going to go grind it out and get yourself. That's like the lowest common thing you could possibly do. Let's expand here. This is why we're here. We're to expand our orgasmic capacity, orgasmically cross train, feel more pleasure, have more orgasmic intensity, come longer, harder, better, in more ways. There's over 20 kinds of orgasms you can have. So that one you got to, there's your foundation. Let's go from here. So the bullseye touch technique is what we need to move from that thing, which is like a sneeze, and into the kind of orgasms when you start on the outside, outer labia, mons, inner labia, clitoral shaft, vestibule, clitoral tip. Then you're slowly waking and engorging everything up. And that is what begins to feel really good. And it allows you to have multiple orgasms, then extended orgasms, then expanded orgasms that keep getting more and more intense, and it allows you to move from the kind of climax that men have, because they don't understand they can have 20 kinds of orgasms. So they have ejaculatory orgasms, one and done. Most women have one and done because that's all they've ever seen. But what we have the ability to do is go into these orgasmic states of bliss, these conjoined bliss states with our lover, and just ride the climax moments and go and go and go and come and ejaculate and have analgasms and footgasms and coregasms and bellygasms and throatgasms and breastgasms and nipplegasms, and there's so many ways to have pleasure. And I feel like the Yoni massage is the single found that, and being able to ask your partner for anything you want and have them not go, well, I know what I'm doing. You don't need to tell me. You just leave it to me. Like, stop doing that. That's number 3 thing I tell dudes, right? So slow down, start from the outside and touch my freaking arms before you grab my nipples, like, so that, and then you do not know. How could you know? We are women who run with the moon, even after menopause, and our little yonis and bodies want something not only every day differently, but every minute of every day differently. So sometimes we're a kitty cat and sometimes we're a lioness, and you don't know when we're going to flip from one to the other because we don't know. So we start to listen to what our body's telling us. We tell you, and what do you say? Thank you, baby. Got it. How's this? Better? Tell me more. I love it when you tell me. That changes everything.
So true.
I've got so many questions. That's why I'm
I know.
That's why I'm pausing. I feel like asking because you will have come across this, and there would be men out there that aren't interested necessarily in making sure that the woman enjoys herself in a couple. What would you say to the women in that situation who go to their partner and they say, I don't know what I like, but I want to explore what I like. And he goes,
I mean,
what's your opinion on that?
Here's your options. Your options are, well, then I'm just not going to have sex with you anymore because it's no good for me and I'm not getting pleasure. So I'd like to teach you what to do. And I think you could learn some things because it's not good for me. And I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you intercourse. I don't owe you anything. You can do that. You can take a lover explicitly or implicitly, you could say, I'm just going to take a lover who wants to pleasure me, and you can just go off and do what you want to do. I mean, you can do that, or you can just take a lover and not tell him and cheat on him. If he won't move and he won't give you your pleasure, what are you going to do? You can leave him. You can spend the rest of your life being with someone who doesn't care about your pleasure. I mean, I understand there's economic situations we get ourselves into, but I'd start saving up money for my escape from that. But mostly a guy who says that, there are actually not very many men like that. Most men want to give us pleasure and they just don't
Don't
know
know
what
how.
to do.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
raised in this kind of pecking order where they're supposed to know what to do or they're a failure.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for them to feel like they don't know what they're doing. I have a technique. I'll drop this for you right now, too. It's called the Sexual Soulmate Pact, PACT, like an agreement between lovers, because I believe that sexual soulmates are not divinely ordained. You don't find your sexual soulmate, you co create sexual soulmatery together by having beginner's mind, communication skills, appetite for learning, willingness to be vulnerable, willingness to have this sexual soulmate pact. And I could teach you a million techniques, but until you get this agreement between you and your partner where you can ask for anything, they can ask for anything, you can say anything, nobody's feelings are getting hurt, everybody's just finding their way through in every individual day with how much stress and sleep and food and sugar and all the stuff we deal with. And so when you have that as the foundation, then you can really begin the learning, the techniques. Then you can move into moaning and dirty talk and sharing fantasies and sharing favorite frames and all these different kinds of sexual verbal communications that even deepen the pleasure.
Yes. Beautiful. I'm captivated by the way you share, by the way I've been educated in this short amount of time. I
Oh,
can't
good.
believe, I honestly, the listeners are going to get a treat. And I
Oh,
think that
good.
more questions are going to pop up from this.
Yeah.
But if our listeners would like to know more, where
Yeah.
can we best direct them, Susan, to
Yeah.
get this information and to get in contact with you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and talk about more about what you're up to. Yeah, what you're doing out and about.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
next?
Coming up.
sure. Yeah. So the best way to kind of get into the Susan Bratton world is at betterlover.com. Better
Yeah.
Lover is a repository for my videos that I shoot for my YouTube channel, but it's also the place that you can go to get onto my email newsletter. And the beautiful thing about my email newsletter is it's this kind of stuff and more. It's sex techniques, communication skills, and intimate health and wellness information. And
Yeah.
I put out 2 a week, so it's not overwhelming. And any email you get from me, if you reply to it and ask me a question, it comes directly to me. It doesn't go to my care team. I reply to all the emails I get. So every day I'm answering anywhere from 1 to 10 emails from people around the world.
That's fantastic.
And that's what
You're
makes me good at what I
amazing.
do. It
That is
makes me good at
incredible.
it's not your gift to me because I get educated by the questions you ask. 'Cause the questions evolve with our society, with our culture, with
Yes.
awareness, with growth, with education. Podcasts like yours are what we need because we can have these really down to earth
Relationships.
talks. I
Mm.
can't advertise. I can't post this stuff on social media. It's all censored. I'm always, shadow banned and blacklisted and
Yep.
all sex
Yeah,
educators are.
we
Porn, you can
understand.
get all you want. Exactly. You can get all the porn you want, but you can't get a sex education, God forbid, because you know why? Because if you got a sex education, you wouldn't put up with the bullshit you're putting up with now as women. And so it's part of a repression strategy to keep us
Yep.
down so that we can be controlled. So the
Yes.
more sexual literacy we have, the better, more we thrive and the more we grow. So with betterlover.com, the 2 email newsletters, you can reply anytime and ask me something. And almost always, 9 times out of 10, maybe even more, like 95% of the time, I'm like, oh, watch this video, read this article, here's a free ebook, that kind of thing. And you learn about the types of techniques that I recommend. And the types of techniques that I recommend that couples learn are things that have proven out over the decades I've been doing this to be the real needle moving experiences that help us get on that upward pleasure spiral where sex keeps getting better and better as we age, where we are extending our sex span. Now we're extending our health span and our happiness span. We're getting over our body image issues. We're, just getting all the benefits of good orgasmic sex. Our partner is happier. We have a better relationship. Our kids. One of the biggest things I've heard over the decades is how frustrated we are as people when we don't ever see our parents being intimate or loving each
Or
other,
affectionate.
being
Yeah.
affectionate or having sexy times. And people say to me, well, my parents never told me anything about sex. I don't even know if they ever had sex besides having, procreating me. And I'm like, you and everybody else in the world. It's not your mom and dad's job to tell you about sex because they might have tried and you were like, oh my God, mom, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
like,
blah, blah, blah,
no.
blah, blah. You know how teenagers do that, right? You can't tell them. And so it's really great because it's your job to educate yourself. So
Yes.
if you find a sex educator you like and you're like, I like them, I'm going to learn some things. That's the best way to do it is just to read the emails, see what appeals, go down the rat holes. You're a lot better off learning about how to have hot sex and be an amazing lover than you are endless scrolls and streams.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. So I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm
So
excited. I'm jumping up and
betterlover.com.
I'm getting on to Better Lover.
We're on the newsletter. We're buying those Yoni massage
Yeah,
things. We are down.
drivedesire.com, sexualsoulmatepact.com, and sexlifebucketlist.com. That's the ones we talked about. And
Unbelievable.
I'm also on Instagram. It's my name, Susan Bratton, all one word. So I'm very easy
where
to
can we
find.
see you? Where can we see you live? Because we know you're in Australia at the moment. You've been out
I
and about doing
am.
some things.
Well, I
Is there
just
anywhere
got
we can see you?
I haven't my live is over now. I was at Sexhibition in Brisbane and it was
Brisbane.
so well done. I had so much fun. It was a great audience. I spoke both days and you have such incredible talent in this country. It is amazing. I'll tell you something. If you go to Instagram and you go to sexhibition.au, SXHIBITION, if you go to Sexhibition on Instagram and look at all their reels, you will be so
Yes.
proud of your country and the incredible talent that you have. So I did that. And then I'm doing a lot of podcasts like yours. Thank you so much for having me. And, probably be on Triple J and, things like that, as I usually do. Sometimes I go on TV. I don't have any plans for this trip because it's over the holidays and people are off.
Yeah.
But I've been on the Today Show with Sonia Kruger and David Campbell. I love
Oh,
them.
fun.
And they're just the cutest. I love them so much. Yeah, so I mean, I come frequently. I've been in more places in Australia than most Australians. Most Australians are like, "Where you been in Australia?" And I'm like, "I've been to Ningaloo, I've been to Perth, I've been to Margaret River, I've been to Boswellton, I've been to Adelaide, I've been to Melbourne, I've been to..." I just keep going
Yeah.
and going, and they're
Amazing.
like, "I have not been to half those places."
No, we
I
don't
just
really
love
get
it here.
much. It costs
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
to travel within Australia than it does for us to go overseas. So I think KV and I, we're in America most years, actually.
Oh,
Mm.
great. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, let
Yeah.
us know when you're coming. Where do you go? LA or where do you go?
Yeah, LA. I just got back from Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. Was my
No
nephew's
way.
wedding over there. Yeah.
Your nephew's wedding. Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. We love it. We love it
Oh,
in America.
We
You love it in
do.
Australia. We love it in Australia too, obviously. But
yeah.
traveling's just the best. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
See the world. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good
Open
here.
your mind and your heart and your
Yes.
yoni.
Yes, and your yoni, opening your yoni. Yes, getting yoni massages around the world. New goals.
Yes. So
Yes,
we should ask you one last question. I'm trying to think of a really
Yeah.
cool last question. B, can you think
Yeah.
of a cool last
I
question to ask?
don't have a question. I'll give you a second to think of it. But I think what I'm most fascinated about is that most
Yeah.
women actually say, factually, that as they get older, they have less and less sexual intimacy, whereas your belief and your teachings are like, I've expanded that, and
Yeah.
that's what you're teaching. And I think if
Mhm.
more women can, jump on board, get that sex bucket list, let's
Yeah.
sign up to get that at a minimum. Things can change. And, you know, you're really, I guess, instilling hope in the people that are listening. And I'm hoping there are more people that get onto this podcast, because there is light at the end of the tunnel if you're willing to make some changes or to be open and communicative about what it is that you want. You can change things with your support and your learning. So I'm just, fascinated with the values that you're sharing and the teachings, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a really different mindset to think about.
It
You
is.
know, we're so ageist in our culture. Oh, well, by the
Yes.
time you're, by the time you're in midlife, you've gone through menopause, you're
Yep. It's
useless.
all
Why?
over.
Just because you can't procreate doesn't mean you're not sexual.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you've had a lifetime of getting better and better. You have the wisdom of your years. You have the lifetime of experience. You're less critical about your body. You're more
Yep.
willing to stand for your desires. You have activated your yoni and you have more orgasmic response. The tissue is in good shape because you're frequently pleasuring yourself. You've got some good natural oils you're using for your lubricants. You're doing
Yes.
all of these things and you are expanding in your sexuality. The same with men. Even if, as they age, they start to get erectile dysfunction, they can reverse that using penis pumps. And that is something that's like for $200, you can get your erection back for more than, I would say, probably 75% of men who have erectile dysfunction, they don't even need things like Viagra if they have a healthy penis. There are men who it's a lot harder to get the function back, especially diabetics. That's a problem.
Yeah.
It creates diabetic neuropathy, which is sensation loss and atrophy and things like that. The nerves don't keep working,
Work this
basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, generally, if you just keep, and it's not a use it or lose it, you can always get it back. Always get
Yes.
it back. You might have to take more drastic measures, like taking acoustic wave treatments. In America, they're called Gaines wave. And that really helps regenerate new penile and vulva tissue so you can reverse the atrophy from illnesses and things like that. And so and even if you can't have a firm erection, one of the brands that's on my Drive Desire is Mystery Vibe, and they have these penis rings, these double vibrating penis rings that will you can get the blood into
Yep.
your penis and lock it in, and then he's got a perineal vibrator for some extra stimulation. She's got a clitoral vibrator, and they can have penetrative intercourse for up to half an hour with that device, and it's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah, so
There's
there's a
always a
lot of
way.
workarounds too. Where there's a will, there's a way,
That's
and
right.
Yeah.
there's manual, oral, toys, pleasuring of different, all the other pathways besides just penetrative. So, you can have fantastic orgasmic intimacy that gets better and better till the day you die. It never goes down. For me at 64, I'm having the absolute best sex of my life. Absolutely the most orgasmic, pleasurable sex of my life.
Do you have all 20 types of orgasms?
The only one that yes, I have all kinds of orgasms, except I don't have the urethral sounding orgasm. That's something that some men like to do, this thing where they put a little like rod up their ureter, up their penis, and it stimulates that spongy tissue around the penis, around the urethral canal, and that can give you orgasms. And women can do it too. That's something that's a little too like gnarly for me. I'm not interested in it. But I have all of the other kinds of orgasms. The one I haven't had is an orgasmic, like a erotic hypnosis orgasm, like a hip when you're hypnotized and they can make you come while you're hypnotized. For some reason, I'm really hard to hypnotize. Like I just can't surrender to
Oh,
it.
yeah.
So I'd like to. I
Is that,
wish
like, is that similar to like meditate? Because I've had meditative orgasms. Is that similar?
it's different. This is somebody who's literally putting you into a hypnotic trance
So
state
you're
and
out.
having you come.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
I haven't had
remember it.
that.
And you're lucid,
Right.
but you're hypnotized.
But
Yeah, but
you're not
no,
in control.
a
Obviously.
meditative orgasm is what I call a whole body or a full body or an energy orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same. Yeah. And I have a lot of those. I have a lot of orgasms that are just spontaneous in my body, spontaneously energetic. Like if I'm lying in bed waiting for my husband to show up or whatever, and I'm just thinking about how great it's going to be, I can come.
Yeah.
You're my idol. Just saying.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I'm
Hey,
like,
this is
yes,
just the beginning for you.
I'm gonna
And
be like,
did I
Ed,
tell
can you
about...
listen to this?
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have podcasts. What we learned from Susan. Anyway, I've learned this. You've
True.
learned that.
I
True.
would
I
love
was
to hear
ready.
that.
Yeah,
That sounds
we will
great.
definitely be doing that. Like 100%.
good.
We'll be deep diving into that website for sure. So thank you so much.
Thank
for
My
you.
pleasure.
coming on. And yeah,
Bless.
for everyone else, we will see you next week and also on the website.
Thanks for listening to Sex and the One, an original podcast created by
KV and B,
produced by
B and KV,
content by
KV and B,
enthusiasm for sex.
B, and mostly KV.